right, welcome back. This is the final game of day one here. Game number 4, featuring Team Red taking on Team Blue. Team Blue, coming off of the win in their first contest, will be looking to stay in the win column, while Team Red, after a slow start against a really tough Gray squad, were able to score twice, including a shorthanded goal in the third period. They'll be looking to build on that momentum as they find themselves in a spot here as we start. With Team Blue, the defensemen Keaton Keith, Jennings Kelly, Owen Grant, Sam Clausen, Pilling, and on forward, Braden Gorel, Riley Souster, Kaysen Shays, Rowan Istis, Walker Morrow, Santiago Serrano, Parker Jakubek, Yukon Kim, and Nate Lintott. And the goaltenders, Ben Bodnerchuk and Owen Morley. Their coach, Ryan Keller, the general manager and head coach of the Saskatchewan Contacts, and the ambassador for the team, Rowan Guest of the Kelowna Rockets. And now introducing Team Red, the defense, Brooks Maholitz, Levi Barber, Jonah Gruder, Samuel Switzer, Xavier Turin, Drennan Blair, Boston Unser, the forward, and also at forward, Quinn Partington, Nolan Hubick, Oakland Rogers, Reed Kahovic, Tucker Strain, Hudson Gran, Cohen Kershane, and Carson Lamont. The goaltenders, Gunnar Yashishin and Brian Middleton of the U14 Prairie Hockey Academy, and their ambassador, Shane Smith. We're set for game number 4 here to wrap up the first day. And Team Red, with a lot of, they played in the first game, so they've had a lot of rest here. We'll see if they're able to come out with a stronger start. UMH-68 enjoys a number of partnerships and sponsorships, most notably 4 main national sponsors, BioSteel among them. The platinum sponsor, BioSteel. Athlete perks provided to our players through BioSteel. We're thrilled to have BioSteel as an original or official UMH-68 sponsor. All UMH-68 athletes receive 20% off during the event. Use event code H68 at biosteel.ca. BioSteel, between hockey practices, tournaments, and road trips, staying hydrated is a must. And now it's easier than ever with the BioSteel Variety Pack at Costco Canada. Stock the garage fridge, keep the kids game ready, and feel good about what they're drinking. Also, platinum sponsor at the national level, Iron Ghost Construction. Iron Ghost, where quality and safety lead every build. Since 2014, Iron Ghost has delivered quality, safe construction from structure to mechanics, start to finish. Iron Ghost Construction, solid, skilled, proven. A proud supporter of youth sports in their hometown of Vernon, BC and beyond. Iron Ghost is committed to building more than just structures, they're building futures. And gold sponsor at the national level is Elite Prospects. Elite Prospects is the gateway to hockey. Prospects.com is the #1 statistical hockey resource, serving over 1 million unique visitors weekly. It offers the most informative hockey player database on the web and has the most reliable transaction tracker available. Your gold sponsor, Elite Prospects. And finally, Up My Hockey as gold sponsor. Up My Hockey is proud to support UMH-68 players with scholarships because mindset matters. Change your thinking, change your game. Train with a program designed by a coach who's played at the highest level and multiply your development tenfold. Up My Hockey, where mindset meets performance. And if you're looking for something to do during the evening, the Up My Podcast Hockey Podcast is also a gold sponsor. Up My Hockey with Jason Podolin, the podcast for players chasing their full potential. From mindset to performance, this is your go-to source for unlocking the next level in your game. Grow your mindset, Grow your game. Listen now and explore mindset coaching at upmyhockey.com. Up My Hockey, because the mental game matters. Both teams with their huddles here in the lead up to this start of our final game. And we're lucky Acane Hockey is a silver sponsor for this event. Acane is providing a prize pack to the Sidney Crosby Award winner. The award is chosen by the coaches and awarded at the end of the tournament. Acane is leveling up the UMH-68 experience and as the provider of the exclusive prize packs for recipients of the prestigious Sidney Crosby Award chosen by our coaches. Acane is also offering all UMH-68 athletes a special 25% discount rate. And the puck drops, and the puck instantly down into Team Blue's zone. Played around the corner by Keaton Keith. And his D partner working his way up the ice is Jennings Kelly. And Keith back pursued by Carson Lamott, one of the goal scorers for Team Red in the first game. And a puck now down into the hands of Levi Barber, and he gets that shot on net, and puck cleared, but it came off the stick of one of the Red players, and so the wave icing is off Lintott now in behind, and this Lintott iced this line. It looks like they've separated it. Kim and Lintott are now partnered up, and it looks like the partner pairing has now added, let's see, Souster, and he was a goal scorer as well. All three of those line mates were goal scorers in that first contest. So a couple of line adjustments by Coach Keller. And we're gonna get the first penalty of the game. Hudson Gran with the slash on the stick, knocking it out. Gran had a penalty in the previous game, and Red were able to score off that. Maybe we'll see if we get a similar outcome here, but Red will start this penalty kill in their own zone. Hudson Graham, one of the goal scorers in the game as well. He puck won by Red, and it goes past the stick of Clausen and out into the neutral zone. Clausen across to Colby Holland, and Holland gets it deep. And Lamott, or that puck right out in front, and a goal. And so Blue capitalizing on the power play right to start this game off at the minute 25 mark. And it looks like Jakubek was the goal scorer. Jet Jakubek from Edmonton, Alberta, playing in the Alberta Elite Hockey League, gets Team Blue up right off the bat. We'll see if we get a pushback shift from Red here. Not the start Team Red we're looking for, but already some pushback here. Oh, that centering pass went right through the skates of Brooks Mahalitz. And Blue right back on the offensive again. And we get a turnover here, and Red now with some room. Red coming in with the shot. And that puck just passed the outstretched arms of Owen Morley. Morley, the grit and grime winner, or pardon me, the first star from the first game for Team Blue. And he picks up where he left off, and Holland causing a disruption down in the zone before it's centered out, and in pursuit right now, looking to see, and icing waved off, and Kiefer Pilling taking it for a walk. He did this a couple times in the first game too, not afraid to rush the puck deep into the zone. And Pilling, using his frame, gets it out in front to Eistis. Now Eistis putting some pressure. Team Red able to get it out though. Kershane now going up ice. Kershane can't make any space there. Well played by Owen Grant.
Team Blue goal, his first goal of the tournament, scored by number 16, Jet.
And Switzer now turns around, finds a player up ice, and it's Oakland Rogers. And Rogers now and Kershane double teaming there, trying to get some kind of pressure on Team Blue. And Blue able to work it around Owen Grant now. We'll see what Grant's able to do. He gets it up to Lintott. Lintott now feeds it, and Istis back. And so Istis and Lintott are back together again in a partnership, and it looks like they're being centered up by Jet Jakubek, the goal scorer. And Team Red making an effort to get it out. Hubik and Barber now with a little bit of time. He's able to put that up and looking for that long pass, and it's going to go for icing. And we'll get a change on both sides. There's a refresh. A big shout out to Focus Goaltending, leaders in elite goalie development and proud supporters of UMH-68 Saskatchewan. This year they're going the extra mile by providing a personalized write-up on each of our goaltenders at the end of the event, highlighting their strengths, style, and potential. Focus Goaltending, shaping the next generation of elite netminders. And right off the get-go, Blue right on the attack again. Couldn't find the stick of Riley Souster. Souster scoring in the first game as well. And now Lamotte using his size to plow that puck really into the zone, and he gets some offensive pressure now. Lamotte using his large frame to protect that puck, and now doing some of the work underneath Oakland Rogers. And Rogers' pass is picked up though, and down comes Souster. Souster in pursuit. And a little bit of a good play there by Drennan Blair, and he's got Lamotte now, and Lamotte with a shot, and that one handcuffed the goaltender, but it hit him in the shoulder and stayed out. Lamotte took him a while to get warmed up in the last game, and he's no time there. He's got all the rust shaken off, and that was a good high quality scoring chance. It just went right into Owen Morley's shoulder. And Mahalitz now, his shot deflected, and we bring the puck back. Puck pressed in deep now by Drennan Blair. And Blair's puck cycle, good pressure by Red. Reed Kahovic brings it over to Mahalitz, or sorry, not Mahalitz, goes to Brooks. Yeah, Mahalitz. And some great pressure from Team Red. It took them quite a while to get that kind of defensive setup, and they're looking much more comfortable than they did early. And we're going to get a change. And we're happy today to be supported through player safety being a top priority at UMH-68. And we're proud to partner with Bames Physiotherapy in Martensville, who are helping make that happen. Bames Physiotherapy, trusted care for every stage of the game. And that puck covered up. Gunnar Yashishin. Is there music playing or something? Oh, is it? Oh, okay. And that draw won by Team Red, going around his net, Samuel Switzer, and that puck headman up, but kept into the zone. And a centering pass, look, and that one went just wide. Sam Clausen looking in front, and I think he found Walker Morrow, but Morrow couldn't quite get that. And Shays now with the pass out in front. And Morrow shot sails over the net. Red now out. And looking at getting a little bit of a rush of their own, and in we go. And Tucker Strain, after providing a little bit, and there's Istis, and he can't quite. End-to-end action now. Both teams working in that outlet pass from Levi Barber's just a little bit too far, and it'll bring up an icing call. Trach Power Skating is one of our sponsors. Speed, precision, and edge control. Trach Power Skating is where serious players sharpen their skills. Trach Power Skating, because powerful skating changes the game. And that draw won again by red. Hubick. Ooh, that was close. And Istis, there again, Nate Lintott, the intended target. And we've got Kim, Lintott, and Istis back again. Looked like that line was maybe temporarily changed up, and they've gone back. Coach Keller now. And Kershane with a head of steam, and let's see where he goes. It's a 2-on-1, and Kershane scores! Using the defenseman as a bit of a screen, Kershane thinking shot the whole way. The Fort Saskatchewan native gets this game tied at the 12:46 mark. And this is a very different Team Red than we saw this morning. More of the third period when they started to really rally, and Kershane, that might have been the fastest rush we've seen all day. He came in and just picked that corner cleanly, beating the goaltender low over the outstretched pad. And now Red with some life, getting a good push here. And into the corner now, and Blue can't clear it. Comes out to Kershane. Kershane now on the point, and Drennan Blair, he's at the top of the circle, and he puts a shot on net, and that's blocked. Maybe a little bit painfully so. Another shot on net, and now Red all over Team Blue, but Owen Morley able to settle things down. That's Red's 5th shot. Team Blue with 1 shot registered in the game. I think they've got a few more than that, but definitely a different Red squad than we have seen early. Those first 2 periods were kind of their warm-up, and now they're starting to gain some traction. And another face-off win. Mahalitz goes cross-ice pass, but it can't be handled by Jonah Gruder. And now we got a break for Blue. Oh, and almost a one-handed, just squeaks through. And Blue back up on the lead again. That break coming right out, and it was Kaysen Shays with the goal. And almost able to, Yachishin was almost able to squeeze the pads, but just enough to get through. And Blue reclaims the lead. A seesaw affair here so far with one lead change, or one comeback already in Red's repertoire. See if they can come back from that goal and tie this game back up again. And Blue already looking to score in bunches, and they did this in the first game too. And Morrow, great puck control looking, but he can't squeeze it, gets down and coming right back up for Team Red, Hudson Gran. And Gran, he is a scoring threat. Most times he's out there on the ice. Of course, early on in the game, taking that penalty that resulted in the first goal, but you got to know that he's going to make a couple of rushes there, and yet his team a couple of good solid looks at the net. Estes in behind the net, and he is dropped. And here comes Team Red again. Team Red with some speed, and that speed is starting to cause some fits. And both players got their skates tied up there, a good no call. And Blue now on the sideboard. Buck comes up to Kim. And Istis can't quite track it down, but they're going to wave off the icing. No icing in that instance. And now Holland keeps the puck in with the pinch. And we've got Carson Lamott here. And Lamott can't quite pull things out there. And now we've got a break. And Lamott, the receiver of that pass, he looked like he was trying to come off, but then all of a sudden he got that break there. Let's see if Red can keep it in. That hard-driven pass, that shot comes all the way back out into the neutral zone, and Drennan Blair brings it back in. Lamont Oh no, sorry, strain. Now putting pressure. And kept in. That shot just wide by Quinn Partington. And taking it, Drennan Blair, sure-handedly. He sees a little bit of room up front, passes the pass up. And beating Boston Unser, makes his way past there, and now into the corner, Quinn Partington. Unser and Partington doing great work down there, and that third piece of the puzzle wasn't quite there yet to complete that play, but good forechecking, by both players here. And Red with a good solid pushback, and Kershane looking to get wound up, was stopped in his tracks here. Now coming out, he's going to pick up that puck again, just out of his reach. But here's Red, bringing it to the middle, Kershane. And Kershane has been very effective of getting that puck to the net. And a little bit of pushing and shoving there at the end, and Kershane gets separated from Owen Grant. And both players going just far enough, but not too far, and they'll stay out there. A little bit of fire on both sides in this final game of the afternoon, and it's a close one. Kershane wins the face-off, and that puck goes back to Jonah Gruder, and now Red's gonna have to come all the way back, and that puck played. And Brooks Mahalitz, ooh, just almost finds the back of the net there. Case and Shays all alone in front of the goal. And now Red has to regroup. And D-to-D pass in behind the net. And once again, another D-to-D pass as they reverse the puck and then try to bring it out. Hubick, his pass is picked up. And Shays, another shot on net. And Shays, every time he's out there, poses a threat. He's not afraid to take the shot. And that creates, and there he goes. Like I said, he's not afraid to shoot. And even if the angle is crazy, and he puts it in the back of the net again, and in this early stages of this game, he's already making a big difference. And Team Blue takes a 2-goal lead. And we got Lintott and Istis and Kim all out as the second line, and they're going to look to add to that lead. Red, though, still having a counterpunch. They've come close a few times here, and once again, they have speed and they've got numbers in the blue zone, getting some work behind the net. We've got an open defender, and we get a shot as we work ourselves out of the corner. And that looks like that's Reed Kahovic providing a little bit of a pain for the defenders there, and they go right back in. Red taking an opportunity to put some pressure on, use their speed. And now we got a shot opportunity and a goal. And we're saying that those two little guys freed up some space, and Lamont gets his another goal on there. Hats off to his two line mates. They provided the pressure, and Lamont provides the goal scoring. So Kahovic putting a lot of pressure on there on the forecheck, and Lamont pretty happy. Picks up his second goal of the tournament. And look at that. Some Souster looking all ready to take back some of that advantage right off the face-off, and you can see him taking a look in there, and both players having a little mini battle there. Those are so fun to watch. A shot on net already, and a shot off the side. Some people are reacting, thinking that is, and we're going to get a penalty there as Drennan Blair takes down Santiago Serrano Parker, and now Team Blue back on the power play. This will be their second power play of the game with 6:58 to go. Team Red with 10 shots, though, the more aggressive team, and maybe a little bit of that aggression resulting in the power play here. They're playing a very good margin there, though, keeping this game much closer than the first one they had this morning. And puck across to Holland, and Blue will set themselves up.
Number 17,
Jakubek already having a goal in this game. Souster looking, he's got Holland, and Holland with the shot, and that's wide. Jakubek. And a good pinch in there by Sam Clausen. And a wraparound attempt there. Souster back to Holland, out to Jakubek. And the shot, and then it was tipped inside by Santiago Serrano Parker. And Holland now. Santiago Parker, the net front, getting a stick on it again. And now Red, unable to get it across. It looked like they were going to get out. And Team Blue with a really good power play here, putting lots of pressure on. And a shot, Jakubek's pass back. And that point shot goes wide. And now Souster taking a look. Holland back to Souster. Souster down to Serrano Parker. And Serrano Parker. And he goes and decides to take matters into his own hands and takes that shot. And both teams are going to bring out Unit 2. 45 seconds left in the power play. And Blue buzzing, looking for that next goal. Boston Pizza as a sponsor at UMH-68. We're grateful for their incredible support, providing lunches and fuel for our players at their banquet and for their coaches to keep them energized at lunch during the game. Boston Pizza, great food, good times, and proud supporters of youth hockey. And Red with a solid clear. That looked like Lamont. And now Blue will attempt to regroup and gain the zone again, and Lamont, having nothing to do with it, puts it back in. And Red sends in one lone forechecking player, Quinn Partington, just to keep him honest. And in the neutral zone, being very aggressive. Wow. Lamont definitely making sure that that puck goes the direction he wants to, and unfortunately it goes out. And that'll bring a face-off just outside the blue line with 15 seconds remaining in the power play. And sometimes a really good penalty kill can be as effective in momentum shift. We'll see if Red is able to hold here. They might get a little bit of a lift to even this game up. They've already equaled their goal total from the entire game in this first period, which is a good sign, and that looks like that's going to about kill the penalty. And Blair comes, and we get Kershane out. And so back to full strength on both sides. Kershane already has a goal in this game, looking for another. He and Lamont have their team within one. And that puck deflected and stopped. And a good pinch in by Brooks Mahalitz keeps that puck in play. And now Blue having a little bit of a hard time getting puck out of their zone, and Red with some success. And we're still in there. And we got Lamont and Kershane both on there. And yeah, at the end of a shift, probably better to get off there. And Barber now comes in, but that puck, the only reason it came out is because of the shift change by the defense for Red. 4 minutes to go in this first period, and Kershane tightly checking there, looking for the equalizer. And this is certainly not the Red squad we saw this morning that lose 8-2. They are holding their own here up against a talented Blue squad. And now Lintott for Blue out to Istis. Istis looking for a chance, drops it back. Big shot by Kim Istis, and that shot blocked. I think that was either Kershane or Levi Barber. One of the two probably saved a goal there with the block, and now Red back into the Blue zone, looking for this equalizing goal here. 3:15 left in the clock to end the period. And now Kershane and wisely, Owen Morley jumping on top of that puck. And he forces a change, and out comes the Jakubek, Souster, and Serrano Parker line. And out for red, we got Lamont, one of the goal scorers, and this Lamont Grand line. And rounding out the line there, I think it's Kahovic. And these three have also proven that they can score. And now Gran in the corner. He had a goal in the first game. Wants to add to that total. Gets a nice pass across to Brennan Blair. Blair's shot just wide. And that one had some potential. And now Souster, he makes the line, stays on side. And now we've got a chance, and Gran was waiting for that. Now he's got a little bit of room there. But he's just going offside, and they have to regroup. Kahovic to Gran. Gran now looking for some room, gets a shot on net, and great job smothering that puck by Owen Morley, because Lamont was right there on the doorstep waiting for the rebound. Chalk went up to Morley. He wins that affair, and there will be a face-off to his left with 2:24 to go in the period. Shots pretty even here. Red holding a slight advantage and may have a bit of an advantage from what we can see here. And a nice save. Wide open there in front of the net was Braden Gorel. Pardon me. Boston Unser with the great chance. And Unser's pass just batted out of the air by Morley. And now Red, though, really great follow-up after the goal scored. They have been the more aggressive team. And Drennan Blair sets back, looking for that long lead pass, and he finds it. Partington now. Partington's in. He's brought down. Delayed offside and a goal. Amazing sequence there on the delayed penalty. Partington goes in, does the work. Boston Unser, who's been all over in this shift, he tallies it, and it draws even 3 apiece. An amazing series of events. And we got a tie game here with 1:42. And right out immediately after, Corshane to take the face-off. Hubick, Corshane, and Oakland Rogers. And they're lining up against the Istis Lintott and Kim line. And both these lines have proven some scoring effort. We'll see. Neither team content to go into the first period tied. They're still looking for stuff with 80 seconds to go in the period. And another break almost by Red. And some wide open play here. We're looking for the centering pass. On the stick and a shot. Oh, and a save. Beautiful save series. And Red at the doorstep. Just Owen Morley staying true, and it kept himself upright, kept his balance. 3 huge stops there in short order. Red with a minute left, still pressing go-ahead goal. Fantastic back and forth action here in our final game of the day. And you can tell the boys are really getting into it, having a good time. First off, we spoke with most of the coaches here. We'll talk to head coach Connor Middleton, and we'll round out, and all of them saying the same thing. Their main hope for this tournament was that the boys had a good time and enjoyed and had fun. That's what we're really here for. Also, wanting to make sure that they're picking up the pointers on what it takes, taking care of the details, and a lot of that happening in front of us right here. And we're getting the entertaining result almost there. The goaltender taking the brunt of that one, and he's able to stay tall though. And Red back on the offensive again. And it looks like Grand. And this guy can make some moves and make space happen. Look at that already. Hard to get off the puck, and his shot just missing. Hudson Grand almost finishing this game off. 4 seconds to go. Almost there. Jackie Beck could have got his second of the game, and it just tumbles wide. There is no time frame there. There is no quit in either of these squads. Fantastic period. And we end the first 20 tied 3-3, Team Blue and Team Red. Hey, Ritchie Brothers is our proud sponsor of the 3-Star Awards, which will be handed out at the end of the game. Ritchie Brothers has 68 Saskatchewan, recognizing the top performers and celebrating excellence on the ice. When it comes to buying and selling heavy equipment, Ritchie Brothers is the name you can trust. And as a global leader in industrial auctions, they connect buyers and sellers with unmatched service and reach. Ritchie Brothers, powering big moves on and off the rink. Skulls. Alrighty. And off the rink. Action started off early, a minute 25 into the game with Jacobin Edmonton product scoring his first of the tournament with Riley Selstad to his point total on the assist. That was quickly followed a couple minutes later with a pushback goal and off the rink. Shane, number 16. Action started off early, a minute 25 into the game with Jacobin Edmonton product scoring his first of the tournament with Riley Selstad to his point total on the assist. That was quickly followed a couple minutes later with a pushback goal and off the rink. Shane, number 6, assisted 4 minutes later. That put the game at 3-1. And then Carson Lamont with the pushback goal for the Team Red. It was an unassisted goal at the 7:16 mark. And then right with time almost winding down, last 2 minutes, Boston Unser, who had been swarming in a shift before, gets some assistance from Quinn Partington and Drennan Blair, and Unser scores to even the game up. And that's where we stand, 3-3, tied after 20 minutes of play. We're live here at the Martensville Recreation Center for the first ever UMH-68 U14 Challenge, and we're joined today by the Prairie's Regional Director, Hugh Hamilton. Hugh is a community member here in Martensville and former professional hockey player himself. Hugh, tell us a little bit about how you brought this event to Martensville.
Well, I spoke to the boys a little bit yesterday about connections, and connections are so important in any facet of life, but I've really found as I'm getting older that the connections that you make in your past really make things happen in the future. And so Jason and I were teammates over 30 years ago, and when he called me about a year ago asking, would you like to help with a hockey tournament? I said, absolutely, because that's what you do for your friends. And here we are. I can't believe how much work this has been, and how amazing the experience has been, not just for the kids, but for myself.
Now, we've had the first day, which involved the testing and some of the earliest sessions with families and with players. We're now into the game part, you know, sort of like the payoff, and it's a really quick turnaround. What are your expectations for the rest of the weekend? What do you hope the kids bring from this event, and maybe even their families?
Well, going back to that, it's the connections part. You know, for a lot of these kids, this is the first time where it's this type of an event, so it's probably not going to be their last. So having the experience of going into a dressing room, not knowing the coach, not knowing your teammates, you know, knowing the schedule, but still it's a little bit new. It might be a new rink that you haven't been playing at. So, you know, being able to have the experience of having all of those different things happen will benefit them in the future when it goes live, when it's for real.
Now, you mentioned Jason as the national director of the program. You've brought in a couple of local coaches with a lot of experience, and the ambassadors. Can you tell me a little bit about the coaches that you brought to the event?
Well, I was telling the boys last night at the banquet that you try and surround yourself with the people that you know will bring you up. And so the people that I reached out to initially were the people that I know. And so Courage Bear has been a friend for years, and he's just an amazing human being that is a local coach and the leader of the Indigenous Sports Academy in Saskatchewan. So that was a no-brainer. Ryan Keller, ex-coach of the Saskatoon Blades and an ex-pro hockey player who is another just a quality human that cares about kids and cares about kids getting better. So the third guy, Jason Gordon, has been a friend for years. We we actually went through our master's program. We had classes together, so he's an educator out in Yorkton, and Jason is the head coach out in Yorkton. So another just a great person that wants kids and believes in really great things. And then finally, just Connor Middleton from the Prairie Hockey Academy. He came on board a little bit later, but the more I get to know Connor, you can tell that he wants to coach, and he's interested in getting better. So really proud to have those 4 men here.
And what's the role of the ambassadors, the 4 WHL guys you brought in?
So the ambassadors, Jason talks a lot about giving back to the game, and those young men that are currently playing in the Western Hockey League have the ability to be with the young players and talk to them about their behavior and maybe even some things on the bench that they're noticing. So it's almost like a mentor, but it's also, you know, an opportunity for the ambassadors to be themselves in front of the guys and maybe even come out of their comfort zone, making sure that they're talking and that they're talking to all the kids on the team. So
this event is featuring 2012 born players. I want you to put yourself back into that 12-year-old Hugh. What, you know, if 12-year-old Hugh was playing here, what do you think would be the most exciting part about the event from his perspective?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So when Jason first, actually I didn't know his Genesis story, so he spoke of that yesterday, and when he designed the event, he designed it with exactly what you're talking about. He thought, what would it be cool for me to have as a kid? And he talked a little bit about one of the tournaments where he won an all-star award as like a 10-year-old kid. You know, and so all of those little fine details, Jason is just an absolute expert at. And so for me personally, as a 12-year-old kid, I think I just loved being on the ice, Dave. You know, like I just loved playing. So I think just being around the guys and being on the ice. Jason's more of the first star award kind of guy.
Oh yeah,
which is lots of kids. You know, like he's nailed every detail, like all of the jerseys and the pant shells and all of the socks. Like the uniforms look amazing. All the kids get little swag bags, which that's somebody's jam, and so you're gonna hit a whole bunch of different kids here.
Yeah, and I guess one of the last things to ask is this event doesn't happen by itself. I mean, obviously there are national sponsors and you know, with BioSteel and Elite Prospects Hockey, and what are some of the local people that have stepped up and to really help this event?
Well, it's the same idea as the coaches. So when I knew the event was going to happen, of course you reach out to the people that you know, and so my brother-in-law he works for Ritchie Brothers Auctioneer Canada, and so they came on early and became a big sponsor. Blaine and Morgan Witherspoon with Witherspoon Realty is a friend of mine in town, and so they're a realty company that does a lot of work in the area. Matt Hale with Ainsworth Refrigeration is also a buddy that came on really early. So, and then it's just other little gifts in kind, you know, like Smiznik, Tynan Smiznik and Folks Goaltending, and Brad Bame with Bame Fitness, and you know, the list goes on and on of just people that are Alyssa Borowski with Boston Pizza, just kind people that believe in their community.
That's awesome, Hugh. We'll probably bring you back a little later in the tournament just to see whether everything, you know, how it went for you. This is the first time, and but just thanks for joining us on the broadcast today. This is Hugh Hamilton, Provincial Director for the UMH-68, the first U14 Invitational that we've been hosting here in Saskatchewan. We're really excited to be here this weekend.
right, welcome back to the second period of this final game here. Another exciting contest, 3-3 after one. An end-to-end action between Team Blue and Team Red. Some of our local sponsors include Weatherspoon Realty. Looking to buy or sell a home? We've got you covered. Since 2009, our award-winning team has been helping clients navigate every step of their real estate journey with confidence. Recognized by Realty Executives International as one of the top 20 producing real estate agents worldwide, and ranked number 2 in Canada for the most homes sold. Our experience speaks for itself. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying your first home, trust the team that delivers results. We'd like to recognize before the start of the period our national sponsors, which include BioSteel, a platinum sponsor, also platinum sponsor Iron Ghost Construction, gold sponsors Elite Prospects, and Up My Hockey, all four providing support and financial assistance for all four of the national events. This one here in Saskatchewan being the first to be held in this province. And in many cases, some of these athletes would have had financial barriers to get to this point, and with the help of the sponsors are having a great opportunity to engage in this showcase event. And the puck has dropped, and right away, Team Blue with possession, and we've got an early break. Kahovic in on the net, and Kahovic denied. Huge stop, and Owen Morley continuing his exceptional play, making the big saves at the right time. And down on the other end, his first touch and save of the puck, Gunnar Yashishin. In a game with such high shot totals, the goalies really pressed to make those saves. They're not going to save all of them, but if you can save the ones that matter the most, like that one there, you put your team in a good stance to continue to press to win these games. And Souster now, and he had a bit of the corner pick there too, and that puck steered aside. And now another break for Kahovic. Kahovic coming alive here. The Aberdeen product plays his AA with Warman, buzzing around, and he factored in one of those goals towards the end of the game, or pardon me, the end of the period. And now Pilling from his defensive spot, he pushes that puck deep, and we're going to get a penalty. Pilling putting a little bit of pressure on, and once again, Team Red in the box. And it looks like Partington was the offending player, and now we've got opportunity with the Kim Lintott and Istis line out. They've been relatively quiet in this game compared to previous, where they racked up the points, and this is going to be a perfect opportunity for them to get back into this. And Pilling gains control of it, and Blue working on a puck possession format here, trying to keep that puck outside and look for a good opportunity to get it in. No, so far, just working it around, and Team Red, and there's that shot blocked. And slow to get up again was Drennan Blair. He stopped a couple of them in the first period. He came up hobbled, just laying it out on the line there, keeping that. And once again, Drennan Blair, fantastic work on the penalty kill. Now with the long shift, he's able to take advantage of that momentary break in pressure, and down comes a big shot by Kim. And that one steered aside, and Red still on the penalty kill. We're down to a minute, 17:41 left in the period, and a minute in the power play. And now another opportunity for Blue in front, and it just slides just wide. Red doing a good job to continue, and another stop from Gunnar Yashishin. 17:27 to go in the second period. Shots on goal are 14-17 with Team Red in the lead. Just clarified, Team Red leading the shot total. Game's tied 3-3. And another clean face-off win for red, but it isn't able to get out. And blue continuing to press with 40 seconds to go in this power play. And now cycling in, Gorel gets it up and he gets it back to the point. And Kelly Jennings, and that puck gets pushed in, looking for a centering pass now. And Kelly looking for some space there, finds Keaton Keith. Keith cycles it around, and that shot by Kaysen Shays. And red able to clear, and that'll about do it for the power play. Out comes Partington, and he just goes right straight back to work. His line out there already. And Gorel now, he was a factor in the first game win, and he's now back, gets a quick shot on net, and the goaltender had to be sharp there. Yashishin in good position, and he kicks that foot out and takes away the play. And another penalty now coming up to red. And red goes back on the penalty kill. Sooner or later, you got to think that these man advantages are going to come back to harm them. In fact, one power play goal already for Team Blue, and they will go back with the man advantage. And unfortunately, Jonah Gruder got his stick tangled up into the feet of the offensive player, and he will sit for two. And back out on the ice, we've got Carson Lamotte. And Carson Lamotte and Cohen Kershane up front. And that puck, trying to keep it outside, and we've got the Serrano Parker line along with, and the two guys in front at the moment. And a hard shot just wide, and the board rebound coming off the boards. And of course, we've had a couple of goals today where we've had that shot go wide, come off the boards, and then find itself into the back of the net. These are lively boards here. And for the second game in a row, looks like Carson, oh no, that was Kershane. Team Red with another shorthanded goal. And Kershane puts his team up by one. Almost like we're going to take a penalty and we won't care. We're going to just go right straight down there and we'll put pucks on net either way. And so Team Red now with Kahovic and Gran out to continue killing the penalty there, and back on the Xavier Turin. And Gran and Kahovic all killing penalty, and the fourth player out there is Turin, and it looks like Drennan Blair. So Blair, Turin, Kahovic, and Gran out on the penalty kill. And Grant and Kim, and the Kim and Lintott line out looking. Istis there with the puck, gets it over to Grant. Grant, he hits the side of the net. And that puck gets almost cleared, but not quite out. And I think the refs, knowing that they got a couple more marbles in the pocket, probably swallowed the whistle on that one. That could have been probably another tripping penalty, but the Reds been penalized 4 times in this game so far and might have a little consideration for that. But Gran putting a little pressure, but Blue still Pilling in control. Blue looking to get that puck centered. Pilling now down low, and they get that shot on net, and it's in. And Pilling centers it in front, and we'll see who's going to get credit for that goal. It could be Nate Lintott, and in fact it is Nate Lintott with his second of the tournament. And that was all Pilling bringing that in with the pinch, and he gets it with hard work down low, and Team Blue with the power play goal, and we're at a 4-4. And that might have been just at the end of the power play. Either way, the score stands 4-side. And we're 14 minutes remaining in the second period. Team Red and Team Blue knotted. Shots on goal are 19-18 in favor of Team Blue now with some of that power play time. And we're getting a hard forecheck pushback here from Team Red now that they're full strength again. They go right back to work. Really, that power play almost wasn't even given the Kershane shorthanded goal. And now coming in, providing a little bit of pressure for Team Red, Boston Unser. He scored late in that period. And he always represents a threat when he gets out there. This Red team probably with some of the faster skill position guys between Gran and Unser. And they've got to always be mindful of these guys to keep track of them. And here goes Blue now with the clearing. And a puck up. And again, it looks like Mahalitz just taking care of things in his own zone. And now Hubick gets the puck onto the stick of who's coming down there. It looks like Tucker Strain. And pinching in Brooks Mahalitz is there. Hubick helping him out too. And Red, that puck comes out, but they stay in possession. And they curl it around, puck up off the glass now into the hands of Team Blue. And Blue, hard contact there. Kershane.
Number 17, Nate Lintoff.
Kershane, the scorer of the shorthanded goal, and he's looking for more. And here's Kershane again. Kershane with the shot, but it's blocked. And the puck comes out now. Lintott, who just got the tying goal, right back out onto the ice again. And that line providing a little bit of scoring punch, and Blues got some jump in their step now, and there's a long trailing pass to Lintott, and it'll be cleared out by Levi Barber. And puck shot right back straight in again. First in on it is Sam Switzer. Switzer now taking a look for the outlet pass. And was that Kershane now, and it'll go for an icing. And 11:33 to go in the period. Everything even. Steven, 4 goals aside between Blue and Team Red. BioSteel is our hydration sponsor for this event. We're thrilled to have BioSteel as an official UMH-69 sponsor. All athletes at the event receive 20% off. Use the code UMH68 biosteel.ca. And Drennan, I don't know, long Blair, Drennan Blair brings it in, and he scores. And he did that in the first period too. He did it end to end, and Drennan Blair is untouched, and he gets ahead of steam. That very hard to stop. 5'9", 140-pound guy from Morningside. He puts his team back up with 11:21 to go in the period. Team Red back on top. Great individual effort. He just got that long stride length going, and no one was going to stop him. And now Team Blue with the face-off win. Clausen gets it deep. Kim in pursuit. And Drennan Blair again. Is he going to do it again? Here he goes. No, this time he sees his teammate. And Gran, Hudson Gran with a beautiful move in front and a goal. Wow! Team Red showing some explosiveness that we did not see in the first game. Once again, Drennan Blair and Reed Kahovic from Aberdeen with the goal. And the first assist going to Gran. That line, an amazing effort. And they put their team up with a bit of padding now, up 2 games. And we're hopefully going to have really happy head coach Connor Middleton. The coach for Team Red will be joining us at the intermission, and we'll ask him his take on what caused this turnaround. It's like 2 different teams from what we saw in the first game. And look at this. Guess who? Racing up ice again. And Team Red with all the momentum and all the confidence it seems now. We're going to look for a pushback now from Blue. And Blue, don't forget Morrow with that outlet pass, and he's going in, looking. And Drennan Blair.
Team Red goal, his first
And Partington takes a whack at it, can't quite bring it out. And Blair to Partington. Partington, his outlet pass is picked off. Again, it looks like Owen Grant holding the line there for Team Blue, and Grant will just simply walk it back, looks up ice, and he gets a hand on Souster. Souster unable to corral that puck, but he needed to get off, and we've got a line change now for Team Blue. And a headman pass, but it goes past the outstretched stick. Mahalitz coming out of the box, almost had a chance for a mini break. Now he settles back to his defensive spot, and Partington putting some pressure, and Kershane. And Team Red looking for more. Team Red, the only team right now in the tournament without a goal. And that puck goes in hard and standing his ground, Gunnar Yachishin. And he's been solid here, watching his team put a couple in the positive side. And we're gonna see a goaltender change at the midpoint, just like we did with Team Blue in the first game. In comes Ben Bodnerchuk, the Saskatoon Fury player from this past season. And Bodnerchuk now in net for Blue. And it looks like Red gonna stick for now with Yachishin. Rogers makes the line, and he gets a shot on goal. They are putting everything on net. Rogers with the shot. Bodnerchuk, that's a tough one to start. When you come in cold like that, you've got a red-hot team like this Red squad. Rogers just walked right in and found that corner, picked it off. And now the lead is 3. Blue banging their sticks, looking for the pushback shift. We know these guys can score too, and this line has done its fair share of work in the offensive zone. But right off the bat, again, Ubik, he's now in, and we've got a goaltender just brand new into the game, and the Team Red looking to take advantage. And now circling in there for Team Blue, Keaton Keith. And Keith struggling, and Bodnerchuk gets his first save of the game. He gets good to get his stick on that. That first shot, virtually impossible probably at any rate to be able to, he picked that corner quite well, and Bodnerchuk did well to shake that one off and start backstopping his team again like he did in the first. And Lamont unloads that heavy shot of his just high and out of the way, and now up comes Team Blue now. And it's going to be a break. It looks like Kershane now. Kershane is in, and Bodnerchuk up to the challenge. He settled right in there after that initial goal, and that's 2 straight saves for him. And Kershane centering pass, Bodnerchuk with the save, but he can't get the rebound, and Team Red with another goal, and they've now doubled their output already from the start of the period, up 8-4, and it looks like it was another one from Lamont. We'll see what the official score piece, it could have been in a number of a couple players, but Red giving Blue everything that it can handle and more, and the floodgates have opened here in the final game. And we'll see if Blue is able to do a little bit of adjusting to get themselves back in, but Grand right off the bat again, and he goes in and scores. And Blue left looking for some answers. And Grand right off the face-off, and you know he was going to go in there, and he wanted part of the score sheet action too. He's had a couple of assists, but he gets his name up there for the goal. And we'll see if Gorel and his line are able to give a little bit of pushback here and counter this Red wave that has taken over this game. And unfortunately, everything on net now seems to be going in. That's a tough spot for Bondarchuk, just because he's come in after watching the first game and a half, or period and a half, and that mid-period change is just, especially at this time when that team is just firing on all cylinders. But he's been through this before, and a double-A goaltender, he will shake that off. He was fantastic in that first game, especially in that closeout period, and we know he's going to bounce back. Right now, though, Blue needs a spark of any kind, even a positive shift or some positive pressure. Remember, Red has killed 4 straight penalties off here. And Gran, and that almost seems to have been fuel for them. Just getting back to full strength must feel like having an extra guy out there, even though it's even. And Red just playing possessed here. That one didn't miss by much. And Gran in the corner, and good solid settling down by Sam Clausen. And he just gets an outlet out there just to take off some of that pressure. And Parker Serrano and his line will go out and see if they can't chip away into this lead a little bit. Souster, Parker Serrano, and Pilling here now, just taking a quick peek. Souster looking for the outlet pass, and ends up on the stick of Red again. And they will high this time, and that one goes wide. There isn't a tougher spot to be in an arena like this than in the crease at the moment. And Bondarchuk's sticking it in there. He's going to give himself an opportunity to catch his breath. He's going to get his team a chance. And it's not unheard of. This team scored a number of goals in bunches here, Team Blue, so we could get a pushback here. And this could be it. Parker Serrano able to get his stick on it, but couldn't corral it. But there's Parker Serrano with some pressure. Istis in there with him, and Lintott. And these guys have been on the score sheet themselves. And just absolute control right now by Drennan Blair. And down comes Partington. Partington taking a look, finds the middle of the ice, and another goal. And we'll get confirmation on who scored this one. We can't quite see the number. Showing a lot of grace and respect there. That looked like that was Tucker Strain on that one. And now we've got a game change into the game for Team Red is Brian Thiel, the goaltender from Leduc, Alberta. He gets back in between the pipes for Team Red. And after a good, solid 35-minute performance, Gunnar Yachishin will get a much-needed arrest. And moving in tight, Istis looking for a pushback here, Kim. And keeping it in is Grant. Now Pilling, is he gonna pinch? He's got a little bit of help there. It looks like it is in the corners, Kim. And Istis calmly puts it into a spot, and Kim is able to center it. Grant now from the point. We'll see if he can get something on net. See if they can test out Thiel. Thiel now coming in cold. And we've got Kim now. Oh, and he's unable to get that toe drag around, and out comes Kershane. A little bit of stick work, but they're going to let that go. 4:37 to go in this period. And another shot off the outside of the post, and that one, Oakland Rogers didn't miss by much. He hit that earlier, picking that spot. This time a little bit off. And 4:20 to go in the second period, and Kim now in pursuit. And that puck brought around, but Kim comes up with it, gets a shot on, and Thiel gets his first touch of the game.
7 minutes and 38 seconds. Goal scored by number 7.
And in again, here's the relentless pressure. This one, Oakland Rogers now, and Kershane. And you think about the start that Team Red had, and the team that we see now, they've made a dramatic improvement from the beginning of the tournament. And Kershane now able to come in, and Gran hits the side of the net. And down now, we've got a foot race, and Walker Morrow unable to come down with it when he was on his way out. And Shays now, we'll see if Shays got a little bit and see if we can get Morrow can jump into the play here too. Shays up against Jonah Gruder, and Gruder wins that one, and that puck's kept in. Shot on net from Blue. And Blue trying to rally, the bench trying to rally their teammates, Keaton Keith. And they get a shot on net and they get a goal. And a little bit of pushback here. Case and Shays with another goal. And he brings that up. A little life back into the Blue squad with 3 minutes, 4 seconds to go in the second period. And some pushback. Of course, Team Red recalls they lost that first one 8-2, so they know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of a game like this. A little up and down action, but there's lots of time left. And Blues got nothing to lose here. Souster now, he scored in the first game. He's been close. And out comes Partington. And up the boards comes Jennings Kelly, and another shot, and Thiel had to be sharp there. In the streaking was Santiago Serrano Parker, 2:38 to go in the period. Team Red holds an 11-5 lead. And we're into the draw now, looking like Parker or Strain taking the face-off, and he wins that one, and immediately out comes Team Red again. Boston Unser, he's got a goal in this game. Wants to tack on another one, and now we've got a quick moving Santiago. Oh, that shot just what? And another shot. And Thiel turns that aside too. Thiel with that huge goaltender frame is able to cover a lot of that bottom of the net, and that puck just steered aside. And now Red continuing to put some pressure here, and they're turned back into the corner. Samuel Switzer, his pass picked up on the board, and there's Kelly, and a tip there in front by Souster. I'm not sure how that one stayed out, but Thiel was able to get a pad on it. That could have been a good goal to build a foundation for the third period. 1:35 now in the period, and a puck coming across, and we got another chance. Kim, and that kid can shoot. He proved that with 2 goals in the first game. He just didn't get a clear look at that. Good defense there. And then Rogers with the pass back, and there's Blair. He's got one in the game already at least. Oh, what a save. And great to see, and the crowd appreciative. Bodnerchuk flashing the leather, and now he's got into that. He's had some tough luck here at the start, but that was a big league save. And we'll chat one in the column for Bodnerchuk. He pulls that one out. And Blue hopefully gets a spark off of that and pulls a few more out of the hat, and that puck just out. And Kim now putting some pressure. Istis and Kim and Clausen all combining there. And Lintott, who has one of the goals in the game, he had the first one on a power play lead, and that puck almost centered, but Istis with 48 seconds to go. Blue there, and a pass in front, and we've got ourselves a goal. Blue not out of it yet. And Jet Jakubek with his second of the game. I think it was Jakubek. And might actually, looking here, it looks like it's probably Kim. Either way, 2 goals in a row now for Team Blue. 43 seconds left on the clock. New D pairing, Grant and Pilling come out for Team Blue. And Istis, Kim, and Lintott looking for another goal here. Looking to make a game out of this. And after that big stop by Bodnerchuk, Blue able to come back down and put a goal in. Another one in the pile here, and now they're only trailed by 5. And they're looking for another here. 23 seconds left in the period, and there goes Graham again. Hudson Graham, he gets the pass up, and Kahovic and Graham takes down a pile.
Team Blue, goal scored by number 16.
And we're winding down, 7 seconds to go here in the second period. A high scoring affair here. Wow. And a flurry of goal scoring that happened in that period, with Blue getting a little bit of that lead, or that chipping into that lead, and they'll have a little bit of work ahead of them. We're looking to have Connor Middleton come and join us in a couple of minutes here. He is the head coach of the U14 Prairie Hockey Academy, and maybe we'll get a little bit of some coaching tips on how he managed to, what he's and the second, because this team looks totally different than what we saw to begin with. And we remember we talked about team chemistry and the idea that it was going to take a little longer, and Team Red has certainly proven that fact. They've found their footing and have become a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. We're once again going to acknowledge some of our support that we've received here with our elite sponsors, being Elite Prospects, Iron Ghost Construction, and BioSteel. We're going to pull up the game scoring summary in a second. I'm going to need a drink of water because there is so much to report. This is an impressive production of goal scoring here. As I scroll down this list, amazing. So the second period scoring summary, things got started with a goal at the 15-19 mark when the game was still in check. Cohen Kershane, he scored it unassisted. Followed quickly after that a power play goal by Nate Lintott. Got that from the defenseman Kiefer Pilling and Yukon Kim. Another goal scored this time by Drennan Blair. Great individual effort after a pass from Hudson Gran, and he put it in at 11:21. Then Reed Kahovic, after a big pushback shift there by he and his line mates Hudson Gran and Drennan Blair, putting the puck on his stick, and he scored at 11:02. Oakland Rogers picks the corner after the goal change to make it, well, much more than 6-2, but Oakland Rogers scored at the 9:14 mark. Carson Lamott at 7:58 from Cohen Kershane and Reed Kahovic. Carson Lamott again at 7:50 from Sam Switzer and Levi Barber. Hudson Gran getting in on the action at 7:15. Tucker Strain at 5:40. And then a pair of goals from Blue as they settled and got it. Kaysen Shays able to put the puck behind goaltender Brian Thiel at the 3:04 mark. Keaton Keith with the assist, and then Yukon Kim with another goal in the tournament. That gives him 3, and Sam Clausen, the assister, with 43 seconds left. And that's your scoring summary. Dramatic turnaround by Team Red. And stay tuned, we're going to have a quick conversation with Connor Middleton, find out what exactly he said to these boys that got them fired up to have such a change. Hey, we're joined here with the Team Red head coach for an interview. Head coach Connor Middleton, coach of the U15 Prairie Academy team. and red coach for this weekend. What brings you to the tournament, Connor?
Yeah, I just really like working with this age group, and I got the opportunity from Hugh Hamilton. He reached out to Prairie and asked if any coaches were wanting to get involved, and I'm new to Saskatchewan, coached in Alberta before, and thought it'd be a good opportunity to network and also get to know the players that I might be able to coach sometime.
Awesome. Well, you've had a relatively short period of time with these guys, and what a dramatic turnaround. I mean, 8-2 in the first game. You start to get some chemistry. What would be some of the main points that you've been stressing in the first 2 games of this that you want the boys to take out of this?
Yeah, so big thing for me is just learning to play in these short-term competitions, because a lot of these kids, they've got Alberta Cup coming up, they've got Sask First coming up in a couple of years, and I think these are good opportunities for them to learn what it takes to play in those tournaments and learn what short competition is about, because it's a lot different than regular season, right? Because in regular season you have structure and you have leadership groups and everything like that. It's a lot different here. You've got a day, you've got a morning to come together and be a team, be a family. So just really stress with them. Everybody's a leader this weekend. You're all here for a reason. It's an invitational tournament, and so we're just really focusing on just details. And then because there's not a lot of structure, we really preach, Shane and I, pressure, because pressure makes diamonds. And if we could do that, then the defense will cough up pucks and we'll get good scoring opportunities. So,
well, and you mentioned your ambassador there. What kind of effect does having that WHL experience have on your experience here?
It's unreal. He's Shane specifically. He's played over 200 games in the WHL, and he's a leader in Lethbridge, and I believe he's got over 150 career points. So like, he is an elite WHL player. He's not just a WHL player, and he brings that youthfulness. He brings the fun to the room. The boys think he's a superstar, right? So it's been really great having him around, and he's a good coach. His brothers both coach, so he's learned that growing up. He does a lot of skills camps and stuff in the summer, so he's not just standing there. He's running the D. He's doing a really good job. So
you mentioned that you're with the U14 Hockey Academy, and based out of Cairnport. Is that a residence program, or do they come out? Or
yeah, so Prairie Hockey Academy, it's based in Cairnport, like you said, and it's a 10-month program, and we do everything there. Everything that you can do in junior hockey, we've got it set up there. We've got state-of-the-art dressing rooms. We've got one of the best equipment managers I've ever seen coaching hockey, named Daryl, and we really treat the guys like pros because we want them to pursue their goals, right? So we try our best to give them those opportunities, and they live there. There's dorms where we're at, and some kids are locals too, so we got a good mix of both.
Perfect. How important is that off-ice component for the development of a player?
Yeah, like off-ice with them, like a big thing for us is like, we're not just making hockey players here, we're making good husbands and fathers someday. So we really preach at Prairie just that off-ice character stuff, effort, attitude, and just like being a good person. The hockey will come if you're a good person, because you get those opportunities, right, with character. So and then on the off-ice stuff, strength and conditioning wise, Travis Earhart, he's a former pro, our strength and conditioning coach, so he knows how a hockey player's mind works, but also he just knows what he's doing. Like he went to school for it, and he's really good with that stuff with the boys. The boys really like him. So,
well, we're really lucky to have you come up and spend some time with us, Connor. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us on the cast, and best of luck with the rest of the tournament. What a turnaround, eh? We're hoping. I don't know what you guys are going to do for your encore here in the third game, but thanks a lot for coming.
Thanks a lot.
And we're back for the final frame of the last game here to round out day one. Team Red with an explosive output in that second period, holding 11-6 lead here. But it was Team Blue with the final 2 goals of that. And so Blue, with a little bit of momentum, hopefully will chip away at this lead. 20 minutes, especially in this tournament, can see a lot of goal scoring. We want to draw attention again and our thanks to Iron Ghost Construction as platinum sponsor of the UMH-68. Iron Ghost has provided player scholarships at all 4 of the national events this year, including this one, helping young athletes chase their dreams on and off the ice. And a great display from all 34 boys. They are still here to play, and this is early times in this tournament. Game 2 of 3 for the round robin play, and then we get into the semifinal action later tomorrow night. But Blue looking to build on that momentum from that pair of goals scored right towards the last 5 minutes of the game. And Red enjoying a healthy lead here, looking to stay focused as they go. And once again, they get the zone and that puck in and another goal. And just like that, Red back in the scoring ways. Carson Lamott. And so 36 seconds in, they widen that lead to 6 goals. Another one of our elite, or pardon me, our gold sponsor, we want to draw attention to Elite Prospects. For youth hockey players, Elite Prospects is your very own online showcase to highlight your achievements and help secure future playing opportunities. Coaches, scouts, and schools at every level of the game consider Elite Prospects their one-stop shop to discover future stars. EP Rinkside providing insights and analysis on players worldwide through written features, video breakdowns and interviews, and much more. And an icing call brings the puck all the way back with Team Red now once again on the offensive here, pressing Team Blue, who are looking for some kind of spark for a pushback to recover from a couple of goal deluge here from Team Red. And there's a good solid play by Keithler Pilling. And Kim with 3 goals on the tournament already, looking to add to that. Nice pass. And Istis' shot was redirected. Another crack at it, this time Lintott. Nate Lintott with a pair of goals in 2 games. And that line staying out, trying to generate a little bit of offense to spark a strong pushback period here, getting themselves ready for later games. And Keith with a shot on net. I'm not sure, and there's the goal. Istis, Keith with the original shot, and I'm not sure if Brian Thiel was set down as goaltender, looking uncomfortable there, and Istis, and I think that is Istis' first of the tournament. He's had a lot of assists going in, and I could be wrong there, but the goal differential is 5 again. And at 18:42 mark, Blues looking to get back up on there again. Another shot, this time from Jet Jakubek. And Jakubek, having scored in this game, looking for a little bit more. And this time Thiel with a quick stop there. And the face-off win pushed inside. And Souster now, the Delisle kid, plays his hockey with Martensville right here in this arena. He will be pushing to get back on the score sheet, get his team, and there he is again, carrying the puck in the corner, and he's dropped. Really aggressive play by Drennan Blair. He's a force to be reckoned with there. And the puck dropped back down. Keith now, he'll get a shot through, and that one touched by Souster. And that time Thiel closed the wickets and held that puck out. And already it turned around again, and back into the zone comes Blue. Serrano, Parker, and Souster. Good puck movement here from Team Blue. And another near tip in front. It was a good strategy. They've had a couple of high danger scoring chances this shift, and they're going to continue to try to develop that cycle and that good point shot. And now Kershane brings it up ice, and he's got a shot here, but he's unable to toe drag, get past, and get separation, and Blue will work it back up the ice again. Jakubek and his line mates, and Shea's now out on the ice, and he took a swing at it and missed, and now Kershane and Shea's chips it ahead, but it's picked up, and Gruder able to clear it, and now back to Mahalitz, and Mahalitz with a little bit of time here, and he calmly puts it up to Hubik, and Hubik was his pass picked up, and a quick brief push back by Colby Holland, and that puck now back in the corner, and Red pressing for another goal. And that puck shot on net, and another goal. And this looks like Oakland Rogers again. And it's got a little bit of one step forward, one step back if you're in the Blue camp at the moment. And they temporarily added the score to the wrong side here. It's not actually 13-9, but they'll get that ironed out. 16:34 remaining in the third period. And Team Red, everything going right for them at the moment. And Lamotte, he's pushed back, and now Switzer back in his own zone, looking up, stretch pass, Grand now, and Grand, a little bit of room here. He's got some speed. He flicks it in, and he goes chasing it down, and he'll be the first to get to it too. And that might be emblematic of what we've been seeing. Red just winning all of the races to the puck right now. They came out with a mission not to be on the receiving end of a lopsided score, which happened to them in that first game when they got dropped 8-2 by Team Gray, and they have now flipped the script, and they're up 13-7. And Barber now around, and that puck calmly shot out. And hard charging down, Lamotte looking for more. He's already been all over the score sheet, multiple point game. And Gran and Lamotte have been a really tough combo in that defensive zone, and Kim does well. And let's see if Kim's able to work a little space, and he is frustrated at the line there. Can't find any extra room. And now coming down, Tucker Strain, he has a goal in the game. And he is denied at the line there. And coming out now, we've got some room. Souster finds Serrano Parker, and Serrano Parker just missing there. That's Souster Serrano Parker combination, and iced this out. Maybe an opportunity for Coach Keller to practice or try a couple of different line combinations just to see if we can get a spark there. Souster out of the corner, and Partington now, and he's got a little bit of a head of steam and a guy to outlet the pass to if he needs to. Partington working inside, and his shot's deflected and out of play. And with 14:29 to go in the third period, Team Red still holds the edge, while Team Blue, with 35 shots on net, looking at Up My Hockey Podcast is a gold sponsor of our event. From mindset to performance, this is your go-to source for unlocking the next level in your game. Up My Hockey, because the mental game matters. And definitely some exercising of some of those mental game issues perhaps that tied up Team Red. They have definitely got their head back into this tournament, and a good push back, and somehow that puck stays out. Parker Serrano did well to get in, had control. Thiel somehow manages to keep that puck out. Still some pressure. Pilling now, and Pilling with a good push in, and that puck sitting right in the Blue paint. Nobody able to really get their hands on it, but Pilling still working his way. Now he has to go outside the zone where Blue will regroup, and a couple of guys coming in for a line change, and that puck in by Kelly, and Shays, his shot steered slightly wide. Might have been tipped there. Another shot by Blue, and Thiel shutting the door. And very little room right now. And there's Shays again, though. Oh, and that puck in the feet. Unable to find it. Looked to be Jakubek. And Team Red unable to clear it. And Parker Serrano now. Jakubek. Jakubek turns and looks. He's got Parker Serrano. And Parker Serrano. And that puck shot around to the other side of the board. And Kelly with the pinch comes in. And Blue retaining possession. And that puck is in. And a goal. And it looks like Jakubek with another goal in this contest. And Blue won't go away easily. 8 goals from them. 12:46 to go in the third period. And they bring the game back to within 5. You almost feel like a converted touchdown will win it for Blue. At the rate here, it's either that or we've got ourselves a lacrosse score here going, but just phenomenal output from both teams and some pretty decent saves too from the goaltender's perspective. You're getting 30, 37 shots in a short period of time. These are high quality scoring chances. Excellent display of all aspects of the game by both teams, even though the score may not show it. Red just getting all the bounces in the game today, despite the fact that they've killed 4 penalties. They've really worked hard to keep their head in it, and any team could have faced that adversity and potentially used that as an excuse perhaps to lose 2 in a row, and that's not what we saw out of Team Red here in the evening frame. And down, pushing deep in there is Nolan Hubik, and Hubik really no room there, and Team Blue does well, get that outlet, and then Istis, he's looking, nice move. And he get past one guy, which was Drennan Blair, but he couldn't get past both defenders. But there he is again. Istis won't give up on that puck. And there's Nate Lintott. And Lintott pushed off. And up comes Kershane. And Kershane has been a force here. He and Lamont, very large, tall, fast, strong players. And Bodnarchuk, very good focus. He gets the freeze with 11:18 to go in the third period. A-Cane Hockey acting as silver sponsor. A-Cane is providing a prize pack to the Sidney Crosby Award winner. That award is chosen by the coaches at the end of the contest. A-Cane is leveling up the UM-68 experience. 11:18 go here, frozen in time. They'll get that clock started right away here, although I'm sure some a little bit of extra time here. These players signed up to play some hockey. They're going to get a little extra. If you're watching, the clock may have frozen up a bit here, but that doesn't stop the effort on both sides. And Drennan Blair will take another look, and he will try. Really adept at making that and not rushing. He's been so smooth in this contest. And now a push up the ice by Xavier Turin. And Turin, his efforts end up bringing that puck all the way in. And this line of Gran and Kahovic and Lamont have done some damage tonight for sure. And they'll be fun to watch as this tournament progresses. A great combination, players from Alberta and other points in Saskatchewan teaming up as a line. They've certainly found some chemistry here. Gran out of Regina and the Wildcat Kahovic, and playing with the Alberta product in Lamont. And there's a chip in. And now the clock running, 10:22 on the clock, and in comes Jakubek. And Jakubek looking for with a multi-point, multi-goal game, and he almost gets things generated. And these guys are competitors, but there's a lot of good sportsmanship between them. 14 and 15 grand, getting tangled up probably a little bit with Parker Serrano. I think the two of them both being Parker Serrano a Saskatoon product, and just a little bit of good gamesmanship there with the tap at the end of that play. And Grant now in a little bit of trouble here with Partington, and he's able to right the ship. But his pass into the zone ends up in the player box with 10:13 remaining in the period. Don't forget to stick around for our individual player awards at the end of this contest. The game's Grit and Grind Award will be presented, sponsored by Weathersby Realty, to one player, and then the 3-star awards, probably sponsored by Ritchie Brothers. Ritchie Brothers, powering big moves on and off the rink. When it comes to buying and selling heavy equipment, Ritchie Brothers is the name that you can trust. Action resuming here. Blue still looking to push back. Excellent check though, Samuel Switzer. And returning the favor, it looks like Morrow decided to put a little bit of body back after being removed from the puck, and a shot in, and another tip. Blue working that point shot with the front man, trying to get his stick on it, and that's come dangerously close a few times. And Morrow now, he's going to put a little pressure in, and Levi Barber calmly puts it out, but the puck ends up on Gorel's stick, and he scored in the first game and almost adds to that point total, and down comes Partington. And we're just a step offside. 9:05 left in the third period. And the Kim Lintott and Istis line comes out. And on the red side, Kershane, Hubick, and Rogers. And this line has a couple of tallies as well. And then Drennan and Blair. There's offense coming from all parts, all facets of that red team's game so far. It'll be interesting to see if they carry that momentum on into tomorrow's games, and whether Blue still has some time here on the clock to right the ship a bit, but they'll have an opportunity with the rest to get back in the win column potentially. Like we said though, we've had 21 goals so far, so 5 goals in an 8-minute time span, maybe not totally out of the question, but they're going to have to start putting somebody past the goaltender, and they're not going to do that with Drennan Blair taking control again. And there's Blair, just rips one right into the chest pad of Bodnerchuk, and Bodnerchuk, well positioned, makes a good save on a tough player, and the puck ends up on Istis' stick, and he's not able to get anything. And now Souster, oh no, Kim in there, and Souster, and we got Souster, Kim, and that shot, and that's a tip almost working. Souster's been around that blue paint good chunk of this period, and he's gotten his stick on it. Good hand-eye coordination there, making it a little tough, but Thiel up for the challenge, and Red once again, out they come. And then Hubick, that puck gets a little bit past him, and Kershane now brings it in. And this line of Serrano, Parker, and Souster, they've had a little success mounting and bringing it back. And there's another shot at that net front. Holland, a little trouble with picking that up, and Lamont has been a force in this game so far. And that puck chipped down, and it will go for an icing with 7:01 to go in the period. Once again, we're happy to have BioSteel as the national lead sponsor for this. A quick shout out to BioSteel. They just dropped a hydration variety pack at Costco Canada. You can pick up 24 bottles in 3 unreal flavors. 0 sugar, clean, healthy hydration for your athletes and families. Grab it next time you're at Costco. And another Bodnerchuk out of his net, and he does well to stop that. And he's settled things down for Blue, and Blue's had a little bit of a chance to collect themselves and had a couple of chances late here in this period. 6:40 remaining in the third, and Shays able to get a puck up, not over the shoulder of Thiel, and Thiel will get a stoppage in play. Iron Ghost Construction, where quality and safety lead every build since 2014. Iron Ghost has delivered quality, safe, constructed from structure to mechanics, start to finish. Iron Ghost Construction, solid, skilled, proven. Thank you for your platinum sponsorship for this event. And here comes, is that, well, I thought it was Grant for a second, but it is Reed Kahovic. Both of them streaking in, and this time it's Grant in the corner, and Lamont watching these two little guys buzz all over the ice, and then he's got to be having a great time with those two guys working on his end, and Istis just will not quit. He's been in providing pressure, no quit on the behalf of Blue. Despite trailing by 5, they continue to keep themselves active and keep their sticks. And now Istis, with the really disciplined play, puts it in and comes for a shift. That'll pay off later in the weekend. 5 games in 3 days is going to start to take its toll. And moves like that, you know, Istis being disciplined, even though the game might be out of reach here, the tournament is definitely still in play. And if this score holds, it really showcases each team will have 1 win coming out of today, and that's a great parity. An excellent job in pairing these teams up and putting these teams together out of 68 diverse players from across Alberta and Saskatchewan. We have approximately 12 players from the region, or probably from the Alberta leagues, and the rest of the players made up coming from the Saskatchewan side of things. Another shot, and that puck tied up on the side. We've got like 8 players all in a 10 square foot area there, and puck somehow manages to come all the way back down onto Bodnerchuk, and he gets that puck on the stick of one of his D-men, and a little bit of trouble getting that puck up and out of the way. Jet Jakubek with a couple of goals in this game. He's one of those Alberta players that we mentioned, we talked about earlier, and a shot through traffic, and it is blocked. And now streaking up the ice is Parker Serrano and Souster and Jakubek. They have done their share, trying to pick up points here in the 8 goals that Blue has been able to put, and the puck in front. Oh, on the short side, great pass from Parker Serrano, and Jakubek not able to get it. There's not a lot of room there. Thiel covering that post so well. And up comes Strain now for Team Red. And he's wrestled off the puck now into the corner. 4:06 left in the third period. And now Drennan Blair, he's going to take it for a spin, and we'll see if he uses that impressive speed of his. Looking up ice, still looking, and he's unable to get it past mid-ice level, and that one is knocked down, and it looked like Morrow there. And he'll take another look at it. Blair, long pass out to the blue line. Morrow once again has a solution for it. And now here goes Scorchane. Put it to space, but couldn't get it past the defenseman there. Great play by Clausen. And now coming up the ice. Good push there, and just onside. They are able to keep that Gorel now in support of the back check, and 2 defenders back. Ahead of steam for Team Red again. And that's a goal. Nice shot in tight. And it looks like that is Hubick this time. And Hubick able to go in there, and with a very tight angle shot, just wires it. And we're down to the last 3 minutes of the game, and Team Red stretches that lead up to 6 again. And Lamont now, and a good stop there by Bondarchuk. And now puck comes up the ice, and long lead pass. Now it's picked up by Blair. Don't forget to stay in on the broadcast and find out the individual player awards. And there we go, Eistis and Thiel standing in. Really nice speed from Kim, and Eistis just couldn't get it past the big frame that Thiel imposes on that net, and it's Red coming down again. And Hudson Gran working in there, and Kahovic. And now that puck cleared, and it's into the hands of Brooks Mahalitz, and he gets it, pops it in. 2 minutes to go in game 2 between Red and Blue, and Mahalitz ties it up on the boards. And it goes in, and we're going to see a change. A couple guys, Kahovic coming off. Gran still looking, and Gran, he's got some room. Nice save in tight by Bodnarchuk. He's dug in there. He's seen a lot of rubber since he came in midway. And he's still got some game in him. And it's going to be a long weekend. He was in there tough earlier, and he brought and backstopped his team to a win in the first game. He's battled a little bit with the puck, but that was a great stop by Bodnarchuk. And he'll feel good about a couple of those, especially that glove save he made in the second period. Fantastic, probably the game save of the goal save, at least, of this final contest. And now coming out with a minute 22 to go, Blue still looking for goals. Souster now putting a little bit of pressure, and Parker Serrano, that partner pairing has been pretty effective and tough to deal with for the Reds defense. And a puck almost cleared inside there, Jakubek. And this has been a good line for Team Blue. Lots to discuss. And 8 goals. There's a fair amount of offense on their part too. Down inside the last minute, 50 seconds rolling on the clock. And Blue, nice in there, and puck off the goal post. Not quite in, and Thiel, he can't quite figure. He's looking at the referee. He's like, did that go in or not? But it looks like it went for icing. And Thiel, his job is to keep the puck out of the net, and he did it that time around. We're down to 33 seconds to go. Don't forget, the first award we're going to hand out is the Grit and Grind Award, and that comes courtesy of Weatherspoon Realty. Looking to buy or sell a home? Weatherspoon Realty, ranked consistently in the top 20 producing real estate agents worldwide and number 2 in Canada. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying your first home, trust the team that delivers results. Weatherspoon Realty. That's the first award that'll be handed out at the conclusion. 20 seconds now. And then, of course, Ritchie Brothers, who are sponsoring the 3 stars. And there'll be lots of people to pick from in that regard. I don't envy that task. Bodnarchuk pulls that one in. Ritchie Brothers, we're proud to have Ritchie Brothers as the official sponsor of the 3 stars of the game at UMH-68 Saskatchewan, recognizing top performers and celebrating excellence on the ice. Ritchie Brothers powering big moves on and off the rink. And it looks like the end of the first day, we are going to have a tie. And we are deadlocked 2 games in, all 4 teams with 1 win and 1 loss. And there'll be things to work on in day 2, but lots of really positive activity on all parts, all colors, doing a wonderful job. What a bounce back for Team Red after losing by 6. They win this one by 6. We'll get the handshakes, and then we'll hand out some hardware to finish off. And these boys will have a nice, good sleep. They'll be tired after these first 2 days with all the testing that they did off ice, and now 2 games. They'll get their rest because they've had 3 more games in the coming days. And if they're anything like this, we're going to get a lot of offensive output and some amazing action. Great saves. Day 1 done. And those handshakes, they'll line up on the blue line, and then we're going to get our end of game handout. Let's say a shout out to Ainsworth while we're waiting. Ainsworth Refrigeration Company is a leader in HVAC and refrigeration solution, known for their reliability, innovation, and commitment to community. We're thrilled to have them on board as a sponsor for UMH-68 Saskatchewan, helping to provide healthy snacks in the dressing room so our athletes stay fueled and focused. Thank you, Ainsworth, for supporting the next generation of hockey talent. The Greens Weatherspoon Realty. We're going to find out who won that award here right first. Hugh Hamilton, Prairie Director of UMH-68, handing it out. And the game's Grit and Grind Award going to
red, number 5, Samuel Switzer.
And it's going to Samuel Switzer. And he's being recognized as the Weatherspoon Realty Games Grit and Grind Award. He receives a $30 gift certificate to Boston Pizza.
We're so proud to have the Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers as the official sponsor of the 3 stars of
the 3 stars now being announced. Ritchie Brothers powering moves on and off the rink. And the 3rd star goes to
from the blue team, number 11, Kason Chase.
Number 11, Kason Chase. Kason Chase is the receiver of the 3rd. He had a couple goals.
The 2nd star
and some
game
solid play. Team Red with the 2nd star, number 7. And he had a big impact on this game. Drennan Blair playing out on Morningside. And the 1st star, the red team's 1st star, number 17, Carson Lamotte. And he dominated the Foothills Bison product out of the Alberta Elite Hockey League. Multi-point game here.
We are back here bright and early tomorrow morning.
And all 4 teams with a win and a loss each. And tomorrow's action picks up again at 8:15. Tune in for the live feed. Thanks for tuning in for today's game. We'll see you tomorrow.